Hey guys, All in Crypto here, and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. I hope you've all had a wonderful week so far. Today we're going to be diving into Cardano, and we've got a video that you don't want to miss. We're going to be going over a number of things within this video. We're going to be talking about events that are taking place, that are ongoing. Some of them are coming to an end and are very time sensitive. The one specifically we're going to mention is the, of course, Minswap liquidity bootstrapping event, which only has 1 day left. We have mentioned this previously. And we actually showed you and set up a kind of dummy account where we put 900 Cardano into this event. I have more separately, but there is essentially 1 day left of this, so it is time sensitive. They've also released some more information, but really what I want to be talking about in this video is I'm sure many of you have noticed how well the likes of Terra and Solana have done. You know, they're essentially above Cardano in market cap. And why is this? And the reasons why, and some of you are going to think this is crazy, but my thinking is, and I'll explain my thinking behind why this has actually made me extremely bullish on Cardano. We're going to get into why Terra has done so well and Solana. We're going to be going over a number of tweets from ADA and really sort of explaining why it is that this has me so bullish on Cardano, because Terra, Solana, and Avalanche have really seen great appreciation from their total value locked. In yesterday's video, we actually mentioned that Terra has seen great appreciation and significant benefit from their stablecoin. We know we have DJED around the corner, and we've got a number of other stable coins like the one Cardano is working on, DUSD. But we are yet to see that appreciation for Cardano, but it is coming. We're already starting to see it trickle in, and this will really amplify and ultimately, in my opinion, is going to lead to positive price action, as we've seen it lead to on other blockchains, Terra being one of the most recent examples. So we're going to get into all that. We will be diving into the markets. We did do some technicals yesterday. We are looking at a potential W double bottom here for Bitcoin. Reason we look at Bitcoin when we refer to altcoins is very obvious, and you should all be aware of it by now, is because Bitcoin is still that tide that rises and sinks all ships, ships being the altcoins. And ultimately, if Bitcoin is having a bad day, the market will follow. This was a schematic that we said we were kind of following from the Crypto Sniper, who is somebody who is well worth following if you are into the crypto space. And you can see here, this was kind of drawn within his schematic. And we had kind of explained that, you know, it's very common when you approach a neckline of a W double bottom that you will pull off before setting up structure for continuation. And that's kind of what you're doing. It doesn't have to happen. Huge disclaimer here, and we mentioned it yesterday. Markets are very irrational and volatile at the moment, given all the macroeconomic uncertainty and the geopolitical tensions that are at hand. We also, if you guys don't watch my daily cryptocurrency market updates, they are well worth a watch, because we go over everything, not just happening in the crypto space, but markets across the board. And we had spoken earlier about some comments made by Jerome Powell, where he essentially acknowledged crypto as a technological revolution. The same sort of thing as what happened with the internet, the railroad industry, the motoring industry, and so on and so forth. And we've been an ambassador of that thinking for a long time. So that's Bitcoin. Cardano, we had set up kind of structure, or potentially we're setting up structure that we believed may or may not play out, which essentially was a head and shoulders. We have, and we did say that there was a likelihood this was going to come out and actually form this right shoulder. You could potentially be doing that. The only kind of downside with this, it's still a potential pattern that may play out. But what you've got to, again, remember is markets are volatile. There's lots of things thrown in here. And also, given the sort of severity of, typically you want to see your right shoulder actually be weaker than your left. And if we had this as a left, you can see that this has actually been more of a severe right shoulder, which shows a little bit more pressure. You know, you typically want to see that weakness before you break. Still could be the pattern in play. Ultimately, we are expecting more upside continuation on a whole for the crypto market, and Cardano will be a part of that. Let's move on to why it is. We'll talk about Minswap at the end of the video, just as a quick reminder for people that want to take part. We have made a longer video on it, I think 5 days ago now, when it sort of first came out, the event first went live, sort of alerting you guys to it. So many of you would have noticed that Terra has done extremely well. In a week, in 7 days, it's at 55%. Why is this? A lot of this has to do, and we mentioned it on yesterday's video, with USDT, which is the stable coin on Tether. It creates huge liquidity. It also means a lot more of Terra can actually get locked up within the total value locked within their DeFi space. Solana's also done very well. And a lot of this kind of progress has come from their DeFi spaces, come from their total value locked, and that kind of evolving. Now, Terra has significantly, marginally more total value locked than the likes of Cardano, which is just starting. So when I said there's something that's got me really bullish on ADA, this is it. We haven't seen the appreciation from DeFi. We've often compared Cardano with Ethereum, which has nearly 3 times our market cap, more than 3 times our market cap, just in total value locked within their DeFi space. And just how, DeFi for Ethereum is usually bullish, same thing for Cardano. That has kind of been true for the likes of Terra and, of course, Solana, which has 7.19 billion. Terra's been absolutely crushing it, and a lot of this has to do with their, like I say, stable coin and really being utilized. These were some tweets from ADA Ape, or the ADA Ape. His Twitter handle is @the ADA Ape. The growth in Luna is due to a rapid increase in the total value lock. This rapid increase has partly come from a 450,000 stimulus package from the Luna Foundation and the substantial appreciation of underlying assets. This central stimulus manipulation of value is why we left TradFi. And you can see here, there is some sort of proof. He's backing this tweet up in regards to the Anchor protocol, and you can see also here again. So there's been huge appreciation for Luna on the back end of this. A $500 million bailout, if is not marketing. It's direct stimulus to paper over an inherently unsustainable and artificial yields. If it hadn't been pumped into the protocol, the yield and price would have collapsed. End of story. So there is some truth, quite a bit of truth to what the ADA Ape is saying here. There is stuff going on in Terra Luna. I think people often, people say, okay, Cardano is a dead chain, there's nothing going on. It's totally incorrect that. And it's extremely ignorant to say that. You only have to use some of what's going on within Cardano to understand that. I have used Terra Luna. I've also used Solana. I have wallets for them both. And I've played around with their sort of DeFi, as it's always good to check out really the competition to Cardano and make my own judgment. So they do both have things going on. They're not ghost chains or that, but there is a lot of tinkering in regards to stats taking place. He then linked sort of the VC, the insiders, and how this is sort of distributed. Terra Luna has a lot of them. Avalanche also has a lot. And you can see Solana also does. It's no coincidence or surprise, as well as Binance, that these coins have done as well as they have. Cardano hasn't got that and has still done absolutely amazingly. They've gone about things a different way. Instead of introducing things like token burns that are really only there to increase the scarcity of an asset, thus the price, essentially, Cardano doesn't really care necessarily about the price. Now, the price is important. Anybody that tells you that price isn't important clearly has never not had, doesn't have to worry about money. That's a fact. The vast majority of people in the crypto space are here to make money. Otherwise, you wouldn't have invested in it. You'd be helping it in other ways. So price absolutely does matter. But I think with Cardano's thinking, and forgive me for sort of speaking for them, they've focused on building what will later gain the adoption that will drive price the right way, rather than pumping the price in the short term and really benefiting VCs. And I like that about them. That's a huge thing that one reason I sort of champion Cardano, and we are in a lot of other blockchains. We love the likes of Algorand. I have played around with Terra and Solana. They both have things going on and some exciting things taking place. But back to the point of how Cardano are actually doing things is very appealing to me. They're building before pumping. And this goes back to their whole kind of methodical thinking in regards to, sort of peer reviewing everything. It's a lot safer for investors, certainly the ones that get into DeFi, which typically carries quite a lot of risk with it. We've seen so many hacks on so many chains now. Cardano are really trying to avoid that. So a lot of Terra Luna's appreciation has come from the sort of value locked within. Thank you very much, ADA Ape, for letting me use your tweet, by the way. Shout out to you. A lot of the value and appreciation that both Terra and Solana have seen, and Binance really. Binance were very smart back in the day. I say back in the day, not even really 2 years ago now. But they really capitalized on Ethereum shortcomings. And said, okay, well, let's trade off decentralization and make more of a centralized smart contract blockchain, but we'll make it fast and cheap. And people love that. And that's why Binance has really done as well as they have with their Binance Smart Chain, and of course BNB. They also have a token burn. Terra also has a token burn that actually kicked into effect really when we saw this pump. So there's lots going on. You need to understand the inner workings behind things. Otherwise, nothing will make sense. Just like you need to understand right now that markets are very tethered to a macroeconomic landscape and geopolitical events. Otherwise, you'll have your blinkers on. You'll be looking at crypto and you'll be going, I don't understand. We're building all these great things. The price just doesn't reflect it. So why does this make me so bullish on Cardano? Well, if we look at the sort of total value locked within Terra, you can see it's 23.1 billion. If we look at Solana, it's 7.1 billion. If we look at Ethereum, it's 126 billion. If we look at Cardano, it's just getting started. By the way, congratulations, everyone. We are at an all-time high for total value locked. We said that this was going to get to 100 million, and then a billion, and then 10 billion, and then into the future, hundreds of billions. That's what I'm envisioning, and a lot of value gets added up in that because Cardano actually gets locked into the protocol, which takes it off the table. Price is determined at the margin, so what's coming in and out of markets, but ultimately, hodlers they've kind of already affected the price in the sense that when they bought, the price appreciation or depreciation, whether they sold, would have come out at that point. But what they do is they take liquidity off the table, and the less liquidity there is to be sold, the less sell pressure you have, and vice versa. So it is very interesting. We know that we have the JED around the corner. We have been keeping up to date with the JED, which Coty, of course, are working on. So much going on, guys. Don't take your eye off the ball. Remember, understand macro, you'll understand micro. There's lots going on. We've got loads of DEXs launching. We've got some DEXs that are actually got quite a lot of VC attention, which is certainly interesting. ADA Swap was one that's been in the kind of news recently. They're doing quite a lot, and they've got some significant investors involved with them. We do have VCs. Ardana's a project that we really like. We know that they have received investment from 3 Areas Capital. Those guys typically don't miss with their investments and are certainly a kind of larger trading firm. So that's really all I have for you in this video, guys. Actually, very quickly, Minswap. There is only 1 day left for you to partake in the Minswap liquidity bootstrapping event. If you want to find out about this, and I'm not doing myself any favors, I've got 900 in here. I've got far more in my other wallets. By telling you guys about this, because the more Cardano that's contributed, the less rewards I get. However, I want everybody to succeed and prosper in this space, and I think this may be quite fruitful. Potentially, there's no guarantees because of some of the yield farming events. They have mentioned and announced some of their yield farming and what it's going to kind of look like on their Medium report. Go over to their Twitter, guys, and you'll get kind of more information on where to find all this. The liquidity bootstrapping event, please go and watch my previous video. I think it was from 5 days ago now when the event sort of started up, where we really went into detail with it and actually showed you how to partake. And that is really all I have for you in this video, guys. Remember, we do have a stake pool. ALLIN is the ticker. Lots of stake pools out there are IOHK or IOG has essentially removed their stake from a lot of these pools, which means that they are not going to be minting blocks anymore, which is sad to see in many ways. We never, IOG never sort of donated to my, or not donated, but partook in the ALLIN pool. This is what we've done from you guys, the community, which is a huge achievement for me and for you guys. Thank you very much for taking part. We still have 3.8 million. The pool would be very saturated at 3.8 billion Cardano stake. So we are going to be minting blocks frequently. So if you're looking for a pool to stake to, guys, head on over to ALLIN. We'd love to have you. And that is all I have for you in this video, guys. I'm going to love and leave you on that note. If you have enjoyed this content, a like is always appreciated. So is a comment. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching.